Yo, what's going on, people? It is my Xbox and Me Extra. It's not, it's MXAM Extra, episode 8. I am joined by the one and only Too Fresh Crash, Matt P Video, and of course, Mr. Paul D Spawn. Don't forget to check out our live stream over on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/myxboxandme, my D&D episode 1. We are playing Baldur's Gate while role-playing as our characters. Did we already miss a week? Yes.
Technically, we did 2 in 1 week.
I was ready for that. I just want to say.
Do you agree with me that the two of us, it doesn't make sense?
No, it's. We need at least one other person.
Like, don't get me wrong. Haley was ready to jump in. She would have jumped in and played with us. But at that point, I'm like, I don't think it makes sense.
No.
Too much progress could be made.
I agree.
There's not enough. We need at least one more person to bounce stories off instead of it just being me and you focused or whatever.
Yeah. Agreed. Okay, I'm glad I made the right decision there then. Good. Yeah, anyway. Shout out to our Patreon producer this week. Do appreciate you, Mr. Aaron Guard. What's been your box then, boys? What's everyone been playing? D-Spawn, we'll start with you, because I know you've been playing something you've been waiting to talk about.
Oh my god, I've been waiting so long to talk about this game.
Talk to me.
Yeah, I've been playing Tetris on my phone.
Oh, nice. I love that game.
No, it's great. No, I have been playing a game that is, as of recording, not out yet. I've been playing the wonderful Brothers of Tale of Two Sons remake from the lovely team over at 505 Games.
Nice.
So yes, I have been having a blast. It's a relatively short game. If you're familiar with the original, there's not much more I can tell you. It is basically the same game, but it is a ground-up remake, like, graphically. And when I say ground-up remake, this game is absolutely gorgeous. Like, it feels like... Have any of you ever seen, like, Coraline or, like,
yes.
Nightmare Before Christmas, like, a proper, like, stop-motion animation kind of video game? It feels like one of them that you can directly control. And it is absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, no, I love it. The music's fantastic in it as well. Like, they've got like a full live orchestra on it this time, rather than just like the previous, like just controlled stuff. But no, it is, if you are unfamiliar with Brothers, just to let you know, it's basically it was a single player game where you control two brothers who are trying to find a cure for their ill father. I won't tell you any more about the story other than that because I don't want to spoil anything, but you basically control both brothers with one controller. So the left trigger and the left stick control the big brother, the right trigger and the right stick control the younger brother. And it's basically solving puzzles with those two brothers. So the bigger brother can like move heavier objects, pull on beams and things like that, where the younger brother can squeeze through smaller spaces. And it's pretty cool. It's basically like a 3-4 hour experience, but it is an amazingly beautiful one. I can't like overstate how beautiful this game is. It is absolute, like it's one of the most gorgeous things. Unreal Engine 5, so you know it's going to be at least nice looking. But yeah, what they've done, because I've done the, obviously I completed the remake, and then I thought, right, I'm going to go back and compare it to the original. And like it is night and day difference. Like the original wasn't ugly by any stretch, but yeah, the new one is absolutely gorgeous.
I played the original with Emma. We each held one side of the controller. We each controlled one little boy.
You don't need to do that anymore. They have local co-op now, so you can play with your own controller.
Makes sense.
And only use half of it anyway.
That sounds so cool. I really regret not coming to your reception.
Aw.
Kind of also don't regret it as well, because you just asked me, but you know.
It was a long way. Wait.
Yeah. Yeah, she sounds so cool. Mm-hmm. There's no way Haley. Cool. There's no way Haley would play. As much as I love Haley, like there's no way she would hold half a controller and play through a whole game with me like that. No way.
Yeah, I think Haley would. I don't think you would.
Me too.
I definitely would.
I'm pretty sure you'd snap over.
I'd be like, this is stupid. Just get out of the way. Let me play the game myself, man. Jesus. I ain't got time for that. Yeah, Brothers of Tower 2, one of those Two Sons is one of those games I missed. So I do think this is obviously the perfect way to to probably check out the game. So I need to.
100%. This is like, again, as I said in my review, which you can check on the channel right now. It is basically, if you are brand new to the series, or even if you're familiar with it, this is literally the definitive way to play this game now. Yeah. Like, you do not, like, don't bother going back to the original. Like, they've added a couple little extra of, like, just fun little secrets, like nothing game-changing story-wise, but like little extra things to look out for and things like that. But yeah, just graphically, sound, everything has just been up-resed to the max. Like, this is the way to play this game now.
Interesting. Anything else you've been planning, or you've been too busy?
A little bit of me and Matt did a little bit of the old Helldivers 2 the other night.
I really wanted to join you guys, but what did I do? I ended up getting in bed and falling asleep.
That happens.
I'll do it.
Yeah, at like 9 o'clock. I saw the message come through and I was like, no, that's a lie. No, you put the message in first, and I was out shopping.
Okay.
And I took a picture and sent it in the Discord, but I didn't have signal, so it didn't go through.
Right.
And I didn't realize that until I got in bed, and I thought, I told Matt to put something in the thing, and then I didn't reply. How mean of me. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I got it
Jeff,
twice on Helldivers.
Not by me.
Invites.
Not by me. I love you, Matt.
No, do
you like it?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, especially when I don't up the difficulty too high for you. Yeah, sorry about that.
That was not okay. Despawn, like literally the first game, I just come out of the tutorial, and Despawn's like, "You'll be fine. You'll be fine."
On what?
Like,
what difficulty?
It was only medium.
Oh.
Medium's significantly more difficult than easy, especially for somebody who hasn't played through actual.
To be fair,
literally never played a mission before. Yeah.
I mean, you did your tutorial. What mod?
You have enemies that one-shot you in that mode. That you gotta like be watching for.
I was going to say the automatons. We didn't do any of those, but yeah, they don't mess around, do they?
No, they're a pain in the ass, mate. I had someone come in my chat the other day. We spoke about last week, right? About how, like, the community. Someone in my chat was like, "Oh, you'd be fighting for democracy," and I was just like, "Hey, motherfucker, I'm busy playing Yakuza like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I ain't got time for that. I'm too busy trying to do some dating sims."
You don't have time for democracy, Fix?
I don't. I'm sorry.
Easy.
You don't even want one single cup of liberty? That is wild.
But back to Yakuza Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Bro, that game. I told you lot last week that I think it's going to be. I think it will be hard to beat my. So I played another 5 hours today, and it's just getting more and more and more and more. And I'm just like, holy crap! I spent like the Sujimon stuff, which is pretty much Pokemon but with humans.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you know what it is about that game? Is there's certain elements of the game that I am waiting for it to annoy me, and it doesn't, because it doesn't feel intrusive in any way, shape, or form. It's like, do you want to battle that gym leader? No. Okay, just ignore it.
They do it in the perfect way. They make every side quest part of the main story once, and that is it. And it's like, if you want to continue down that path, you can go right ahead. But you've got a main story here waiting for you. So when you get back to it, it's here for you. Or you could get to the end of the main story. It's like, right, now you can still go do every little thing you wanted to do.
I have a question. The side quests, are they gated at all in any sort of way?
What do you mean? Like level, or what do you mean?
Yeah, are you like gated by your like progress in the main story to continue them? So once you unlock it, you can like go through the whole thing.
Yeah. So once you
that's
once
what
you
I was
unlock
doing with the dating sim.
Yeah,
I guess technically that's not true, right? Because I got to a point on the dating sim side quest, which she says, "Oh, come back to me when your personality trait's level 10."
Yeah.
So, but there's enough there that you enjoy, that you want to go out there and get your personality level up so you can get back to that, if that makes sense. So technically it's kind of gated in that regard, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that one makes sense for the dating one.
Yeah.
That is a very rare occurrence. Like, most of them are very much like, no, you can just keep doing them as much as you want. I think the only thing that limits you in some of them is money. But once you get,
money's a bastard, mate. I hate game, but I love it. But I also love it. Yeah.
I want to ask you something, because I don't know where exactly you are in the game yet, and I don't want to spoil it. You know there's a thing in the game because we talked about it in all the adverts and stuff. Have you got to Dondoku Island yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay. I won't say anything more then. But yeah, you're going to enjoy that. That's all I'll say. But yeah, no, like, apart from that, no, they're very, very good at being like, all of the side quests are pretty self-contained, in so much as like, once you unlock it, you can do the entire thing. But yeah, like I don't think apart from like you say the having your abilities at certain levels are the only thing that really stop you.
I'm now addicted to bonds as well, like getting my characters bonds together and doing the bingo card and all that. Where I'm like literally today before the Pokemon Direct, I had like 10 minutes of like waiting. I was like, we can get like 4 more bonds real quick. Let me just run around real quick. And I'm like, yeah, really, really love that game. Like I knew the first game was special, but just like I said before, I just didn't finish it. This game, I'm tempted. It's the first game that I'm tempted to do all of the other stuff off stream, just so I can enjoy like the side quests and the main stuff. But like the bonds and all that stuff, my chat doesn't care about any of that, but I do. Where I'm like, maybe I can just do that off stream, and then I can come back and I've got more money and I've got more this, the Sujimon stuff. I don't think anyone really cares about that either. But I actually am quite invested in that storyline now, where I'm like, maybe I'll do that as well, because it gives you a clear indicator of like, hey, you can go and do this now. So I can wait off on those bits while still leveling up and stuff. Oh, mate, honestly, love that game. It's so good.
Yeah.
Matt, you haven't played it, right?
No, I've said that I need to finish Final Fantasy VII before I start messing around with that.
No, 100%. I think this game, Matt, is the game that you play when you come on the podcast, like, I ain't got nothing to play right now. Then you play this game.
Why do I ever say that?
He has to play
There'll be
Elden
a
Ring,
time.
bro.
There'll be a time.
He's
There'll be
going
a
to
time.
replay Elden Ring, yeah.
Coming from you, you're playing it as well. Get out of here. Co-op.
I would love to get to it, but there's something coming out in March that Dragon's Dogma.
Dragon's Dogma and Last of the Ronin, is it?
Yeah, Rise of the Ronin.
That's 4-player co-op, yeah.
Yeah, they announced that this week.
Not that I care about that game.
That kind of, can I be honest? A little bit. Yeah. Yeah. It's a little bit worrisome when they're like 4-player co-op, and I'm just like, I had such a specific expectation for that game where it's kind of like, has it shifted? Because like
it should have.
Elden Ring technically has co-op, but it's a single player game mostly. So how does the co-op function, right? A little bit worrying, but I have faith. The team's good. Super talented team.
Any update on Final Fantasy VII?
I've played a little bit since we last spoke, but nothing significant. Like I'm still just hanging out with Aerith.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can control her now. She can fight people now. That's good.
With her
Do you like her move, like her abilities and stuff?
I think I've literally done one encounter with her as like so I haven't messed around with it too much.
We're 2 as of recording, we're 2 days away from remake.
Rebirth. Yes, indeed.
Rebirth.
And all the reviews are out and everybody just says it's a bloody masterpiece, don't they? So I've got to get into these JRPGs.
Let's get some 8s.
From idiots.
Oh no,
obviously.
some 8s.
I'm just saying.
Clearly, it's not a perfect game, and I'm going to cancel my pre-order. All right, cool.
I wish I would have got the statue, man. I'm really pissed I didn't get the statue.
So the
you
only
all
thing,
those inches of Sephiroth.
I want the other one as well now. I might just buy them on eBay.
Yeah, I'm thinking I might get the Sephiroth one.
Yeah.
But the reason I didn't buy it, and the only reason I didn't buy it, and I'm kicking myself because of it, is that I could only find a version with a disc of the game, and I've got a digital PS5.
That's more for you, mate.
Did it come with multiple discs as well?
Yeah, 2 discs.
It did too.
Yeah. Cool.
Interesting. Anything else anyone's been playing they want to talk about?
No.
Halo.
Next week I'll have a cool thing I can talk about.
Nice. Well, that must be nice. I mean, I'm hoping WWE codes come in soon as well. So hopefully I'll be able to talk about something as well.
Oh, they just announced a new DLC as well, didn't they?
Why are you pulling faces at WWE?
I'm not a wrestling guy. I'm not.
Yeah, well, that's good for you. I'm not a rugby guy, but I don't pull faces at your rugby shirts, do I?
Rugby.
I thought you were going to say I don't pull faces at your rugby games. I was like, I can't remember the last time I played a rugby game. Although one did
I reached out for one for you. I did reach out for a code for it. They never got back to me. Yeah, I did reach out.
I would have played it.
I know you would have. Big news this week, boys. Unfortunately, it's some sad news. Sony is announcing layoffs at PlayStation Studios. We're looking like they're going to lose around 900 jobs. stuff that we need to know really is 900 jobs from PlayStation Studios are gone. Multiple projects have now been cancelled. The big news is the layoffs see the demise of PlayStation's London studio that were best known for stuff like the VR experiences and stuff like that. Yeah, man, this is a big loss. Obviously, you've had studios losses from Naughty Dog, Insomniac, Fire Sprite, Spirit. Is it Sprite or Spirit?
Sprite.
Thank you. Sprite. Also, Gorilla as well. This is crazy. The thing I want to touch on the most, I think, is something that I actually read through the article they put out, and it was a very interesting way to announce it. I liked the transparency, but the thing that concerned me the most about it was like you can see the aftercare that happens in other countries, like obviously the UK and what happens in Japan. And Chris, you've spoken about it before, and I spoke to Ant as well. Shout out Ant, friend of the show, I guess. He's spoken to me loads about like companies just like ditching people, and I don't want to say too much because I don't want to put his business out there like that. But yeah, it surprises me how they can just be like, yeah, you're done, no job anymore. After making you relocate your entire life, and you might have moved your whole family to bloody an expensive state or whatever, and then they're just like, yeah, goodbye. That's it, it's done.
Yeah.
And that's not against the law.
No, well,
America.
Labor laws in America, I'm just going to speak out of turn, I'm pretty sure are very much geared towards the company rather than the individual.
Yep.
Whereas
100%.
over here, it's very much human rights, like labor laws in the UK are like, yeah, it's kind of more weighed towards the individuals. I won't say
which is also not a good thing sometimes, because sometimes you do have that person who definitely should be fired, but you've got to do the first warning, second warning, written warning, verbal warning, then you fire them. So even firing someone can be a bit of a hardship here as well, which is like not always a good thing as well. But
yeah, it's the only reason I'm still on the podcast. I'm on my third warning.
One more hot take and he's out of here.
How does me getting fired work from the podcast fix? Am I just dropped whenever?
Technically, all three of you are freelancers.
Oh yeah, it's like an Uber Eats situation. Technically, you're all self-employed.
Yeah. Technically, all three of you are freelancers, and you could all be dropped at any time that I want.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But just remember, I don't own my Xbox and me. MC Fixer does. All right.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he no. I'm Corey.
That's
right
what
now.
I have a problem
On this
with.
podcast, I'm Corey.
Yeah.
I'd go to London and try and find MC Fixer guy.
No, I think he only exists in GTA RP actually. So
So you have to go to Los Santos and fight him there.
weird situation that we live in.
I'm gonna join whitelist. I'm gonna create a character, and I'm only gonna play when Fix is on, just to grief Fix every time. Randomly find him wherever he is.
I didn't talk about it. I guess I could have spoken about that. And what's been in your box? I played RP again for the first time, not on No Pixel. I did it was Black History Month, obviously in America, or still is technically. And they did like a big show on a server called Prodigy, and they had like decorated the entire studio with like Black History Month flags, and all on the screens had Black History Month stuff. I was like, damn, is that what these servers can do? Like, this is crazy. It was really, really cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really, really fun. Anyway, back to Sony. Obviously, thoughts go out to everyone who lost their jobs. London studio being gone, though, boys. That's something I want to talk about real quick. Does that not spell the end of VR for PlayStation in a way?
Well, kind of yes, but also who knows? Because I'm pretty sure like the last announced, or at least the thing they were talking about, was an open world like multiplayer game. So
Gotcha.
Is this more, instead of it being an end of VR, is this more a sign that this is the end of the ill-fated attempt at all the live service games?
Yeah, I think so.
Because there's
go on.
There was a Twisted Metal game that got canceled.
Yep, Twisted Metal
all
live
this
service
news. There was a live service game. So that's what it looks like, is like, hey, the industry's moving in a way we thought it would be live service. It's not. We hired all these people, whatever. It's not foreseeable for us to keep them employed when like the things they're working on aren't gonna bring back the profit we would need to keep them employed in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, for an example, like obviously we see in this part of this, like Naughty Dog developers losing their jobs. Obviously, we found out like a while back that the Factions update was getting cancelled. So yeah, so I imagine this is going to be some fallout from that. And yeah, I don't know about Insomniac and Firesprite, but yeah, it's just, man, can it stop, please? Like
my question I have for you boys is, where does this leave us as an industry? I think every game studio in the world looks at Sony as industry leaders when it comes to hardware, industry leaders when it comes to software, in terms of their games being of that top quality. When a company like that is laying off 900 people, and Xbox got a lot of flack from us on the podcast and beyond, right? Of killing 1,000 plus jobs after they bought a company, and to give them a little bit of an out, like you didn't need two PR teams, you didn't need two, so there was always going to be a fire in here, right? With PlayStation, it's a bit different, right? And 900 jobs is 8% of the entire company. Is a lot of jobs to just wake up one day and fire. Where do we go from here? Because I'm an influencer, right? That's the space I work within. I'm scared, and and obviously I tangentially work with PR with companies, as we all know, Ubisoft, and I've worked with 2K and a bunch of others, right? If there's no money for the people making the games, surely there's sure as hell no money for people like me doing marketing, like PR marketing stuff, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like it's my question is, like, I'll get to that main question, but like I guess the question regarding like PlayStation specifically, did they shoot themselves in the foot a little bit? Because they came out themselves and said we're seeing a downturn in PlayStation 5 sales and all this, and we get to the second half, and then they wiped a ton of stock sales. Is this a reaction to that? Or is this just like a wider, like, because we've seen it across multiple companies now throughout this year and last year? Like, what is the stem of this? Like, where's it coming from?
I would say that it's probably a little bit of everything, right? Because I think you have to take into account the direction PlayStation was heading in, the fact that there wasn't enough hardware available to hit the want when it was there, and the longer a system's out, the less that want is, especially when your first party games are going to PC and you're not outputting new first party games at a fast enough pace to hit a new level of want for people, on top of just industry. It's just different. It's changing. There's not as much growth in consoles. We've seen that Xbox say that. We've seen that PlayStation say that. So I think it's just sort of going to be in this weird spot for a while until like sort of, we're also post-COVID, until everything sort of stabilizes a little bit more. But I don't think we're ever going to see a period where layoffs won't be hitting in some degree, right?
No, but we shouldn't see it in this. We should never see layoffs like this ever again, right? Like this is so egregious, in my opinion. Like I don't know. Maybe I couldn't imagine having to make these decisions where I'm like, all right, we're gonna like slowly but surely lay off people, sure. Like,
but 900 at a time.
But just 900 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's for me, it's the amount of people out in the wild now that are like either giving up on being a game developer, or have completely saturated a market that isn't available to everyone anymore. Like, there's probably going to be a case now where it's going to be like, what would have been like 20 people to one job is now like double, triple that.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, it's
you know what pisses me off the most as well? Like, obviously, I'm having a bit of a meltdown right now in my personal life when it comes to electric, right? That's something that I'm going through, right? And where you see like these top bosses come out and be like, oh yeah, we can't justify our bonuses. PlayStation's profits were up 13% last we heard, through video games, through music, through TV, stuff like that, right? Where does it end? Like, because if you're if you're seeing profits, how are we still seeing these amounts of losses?
Because
you're the smart one on this podcast. Yeah, talk to me.
I think it's an interesting discussion, right? Something you said then was like, oh, you could imagine this coming in like waves, right? Like smaller waves of like layoffs and stuff. From a business standpoint, that's like, it looks like you're bleeding as opposed to making a conscious decision that is economical, right? Which is to cull 900 jobs. Now we're stronger is the messaging versus, oh, we're just slowly getting rid of people and hoping you don't notice. I don't know.
Just real quick, sometimes I forget Matt's like the smart one out of the four of us.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no, Matt's very much the smart one.
Go back and listen
apologize for the interruption.
The last episode of My Xbox and Me, where you lot rinsed me for my opinions on AAA games, and then just called me a bitch out of nowhere. So there we go.
To be fair, you are a bitch.
Wow,
there we go.
I was on your side with the AAA game discussion. All right.
Yeah, that's in the past.
Like the hand that feeds.
That was like 4 days ago, bro. Come on.
In the present,
4 days ago.
Yeah, you're still a bitch.
Anyway, lost train of thought. 900 job layoffs. I can't remember where we were going with
decision.
that.
I think you made a valid point from a business perspective, right? It makes more sense to go, I'm big boss. Yep, I have made this hard decision, and now moving forward, team, come here. We are together. This is how we're moving forward. Then, hey, you get out. That doesn't send a message, also, does it either?
Yeah. So I imagine it's also to a degree better for employees to know, like, hey, that's a big group of layoffs, but for a little while, my job's secure. Yeah. As opposed to like, 100%. We're doing 30 layoffs now and then another 40 later, so, where you'd always be worried and be looking to leave the company, even if you weren't up on the cutting board.
100%. Like, because you wouldn't know if you were up on the cutting board, right? If you just had these waves every 6 weeks of people getting laid off, job satisfaction is out the window, right? Everybody feels like they're on thin ice. Whereas you're absolutely right. Now, whether or not it's the case, people probably feel fairly secure if they're still in the job.
Yeah. So there'll be a lot of survivor's guilt going around.
Yeah. Though. So I can speak firsthand for this. I don't care. Like, if they fire me after this, they don't listen to the podcast. It's not a problem. But yeah, like, I've had this thing happen to me multiple times firsthand in my work, where they have downsized, cut a load of people. And it's not until you have a business meeting in the afternoon after finding out loads of people have left to find out if your job is safe or not. That has happened like 2 times over the last 2 years now. And the guilt that you feel is horrendous. Like, it's not so much guilt. I'd say it comes close to trauma. Like,
100%.
In the fact that, like, I now, anytime I see a business email that's to everyone, it's like, what cut is this for? Or whenever I'm called into a meeting, it's like, what's the meeting for? Do I need to worry about the outcome of this conversation? And it's like, and it is 100% a job satisfaction thing. It's like, I don't feel safe at a workplace. How are you going to be like taking it back to gaming? If you do not feel safe in your job, how are you going to make the best game possible when you're having to look over your shoulder to make sure that you're hitting certain metrics just to make sure that you're not on the chopping block? And you can't just be the creative force that you're supposed to be.
See, that's crazy to me, because I obviously my life is very, very different to all of you guys, right? Because that's been my entire, in my professional life, outside of retail and things like that, that's all I've ever known. It's like with Twitch, it's such a dog eat dog world. Like, you get on, you stream, and you hope that Aaron God comes by and drops a 50 bomb. Like, not quite, but you know what I'm saying.
We love Aaron God.
Of course we love Aaron God. He knows that. But like, it's such a different world, right? So for me, I've always worked in that environment. My biggest heartbreak come when I lost my GTV job. When I lost that, I remember thankfully I didn't say nothing too crazy on Twitter, but I had a meltdown. I remember being like, oh, my world's over. This is it. It's done. Like, and now I think I'm more prepared if that was to happen again, like, thankfully. But yeah, there is that level of, like, I can only imagine people that have dreamed of working for PlayStation for their entire life that have only been in that job 2 months, 3 months, just came in, the PR person who's a junior there, Just like that's been their entire. Oh my god, I get to work in video games. They're there living the dream, working, doing everything, and then this comes through, and you're like, fuck, my dream's over. Like, it's horrible to think about. Like,
also,
yeah.
Part of what makes working at certain places like enjoyable is your coworkers. It's the people you're there with. So even if you aren't directly affected by the layoffs, it's like, hey, the 3 people who worked on me with this are gone, and now the people that I communicated all the time, that changes, structure changes, I'm answering to a different boss, et cetera, et cetera. That all has sort of like ripple effects to your work life, like not work-life balance, but your quality of work and how much you enjoy that possibly. So even if you're not affected, there is a big shift in the industry for the people at PlayStation regardless.
Yeah, there is absolutely no way that people are out there now making their best games. Like, because again, they've got too much stuff to worry about.
To put a twist on it, do you think there's a possibility that we see? Obviously, there's a bunch of talented people now out there in our industry. Do you think we see someone willing to take a risk on them and go, okay, there's a lot of talent out there right now. They've just come from one of the best game studios in the world, being Naughty Dog, being Guerrilla, being Insomniac, whoever it may be, right? And they go, okay, these people have worked on a good game. We can put them together and make something special. Do you think that's an opportunity, or go on, Matt?
I got a pitch for Phil Spencer. Here we go. Ready? Get a little pot of money together. Probably not a big pot, just a little pot of money, as far as Microsoft is concerned.
So $2 billion.
That's a good clarification.
Yeah. You start a Game Pass exclusive TV show right now, reality TV show.
Mate.
Get a bunch of devs together, split them into teams, and go, you got a year to make a game. It's going to go into Game Pass. We're going to document the whole thing. Boom. You get some superstars out of it. You get your next Joseph Fares out of it, probably.
I want that so bad.
Bro, how has there not been I suppose because game dev takes so long, right? Yeah. But
you'd have to give me a year.
Yeah,
a reality show. Like, I'm just thinking, I'm watching Drive to Survive again, right? The new season just came out, and for those who don't know what that is, that's like the behind the scenes of Formula One. I'm not a Formula One fan. I'm more a Formula One fan now than I ever was, but I wouldn't call myself. I don't sit down and watch Formula One for 8 hours a day. I would love that in terms of like, it just costs too much, right? That's the problem. Games cost too much to make to do something like that as well. You can do that on an indie level with a game jam level, and then the idea goes off and gets made. But like to actually make a game,
yeah, because you can.
That's what I think you do. Sure. I think it is a game jam level. I think you give them a year and you give them enough resource to get by and stuff. And yeah, you bank on these people having personality enough to drive a TV show. You find those people like.
And you sell it to Netflix.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It's exclusive to Game Pass for a month or whatever, and then it goes.
Forget Game Pass. Just sell it to Netflix.
Well, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. Disney Plus and Hulu. There you go. I don't know about all of that, but what I will definitely imagine will happen in not like in the next couple of months, but the next generation of game like developers and like company owners that we start see sprouting out from this. I can imagine there is going to be a lot of companies that are built around the fact that this never happens again. Like this amount of layoffs in the future.
You can't. You just
I don't
can't.
think you can.
These things come in waves, right? Like I think this is a hangover from the pandemic, and it's similar to what you were saying, Fix, about like energy bills being an issue. Like these companies have these massive offices. Like London Studio had a massive office. How many of those people were in that office after the pandemic? Probably not half. Like,
yeah,
you need to make these huge decisions, right?
The energy thing is like no joke. Like, I generally, boys, I love the fact that I moved, but I moved at the fucking wrong time. Let me tell you, like, Jesus. And yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there, where it's like, well, yeah, we do have to pay to heat this entire office. Like,
so
we do have to pay
make them remote workers then.
It's just not that easy though.
Management doesn't like remote workers. I mean, a lot of management needed.
Well, that's true. Well, then get rid of your management and then maybe save a bit more money.
Yeah, but
that's maybe what they just did.
They did. Well, you think 900 of these staff are not management?
Yeah, I imagine
all 900 is management. They only fire management.
Yeah, they only
fire
management. Yeah, definitely. I didn't see like a ton of community managers and PR stuff and developers losing their jobs this week. Nope, definitely just managers.
No, it sucks. Yeah. It sucks, man. It sucks. Moving on swiftly. The Pokemon Direct, it is Pokemon Day today as we record. I watched it. A new Pokemon Legends game was announced at the end of the showcase. I didn't have a fucking clue what was going on. I realized how just lost I am in the Pokemon world now. And it's such a shame. Like they also announced a new Pokemon TCG game, which is the card game, the trading card game, which actually looked really good. It's like a digital, you get 2 packs free every day. And I actually took a look at that and actually did like the look of that. But everything else, they announced stuff for Pokemon Sleep and a bunch of other stuff. But anyone excited for a new sequel to Pokemon Legends? I am not, because I didn't like Pokemon Legends at all.
I am going to be honest. I will never be excited for a Pokemon game because they never stand up to what you want them to be. Literally, like I want all my games to run at least 30 FPS minimum, and they're never going to do that with a Pokemon game.
Fresh. You just said these guys are crazy for not liking Legends?
Yeah. Legends was an amazing game.
Amazing.
It was the best Pokemon game that's come out in a very long time.
It was Pal World exists.
Oh wow. I think I really enjoyed Sword and Shield. Like, not really enjoyed. I enjoyed it enough that I played through it till the end and did a little bit of raiding with the community. That was the last good Pokemon game for me.
Sword and Shield was good. I think Legends of Arceus, like we talk about Pokemon changing its formula and doing different stuff. Legends of Arceus does that. It puts the catching and the exploration factor above everything else. Like there's problems with it where it's not fully open world and you don't get the exploration of Breath of the Wild and stuff like that, and stuff they can definitely improve on. But as a first proof of concept for that different type of game that we've wanted, I think Legends of Arceus did that and then some. Like, I think it delivers on that promise.
Does it look like this new Legends game will improve on those aspects?
We didn't see any of it. We didn't get to see any of it. We didn't see anything.
I didn't watch it, so
no, we didn't get. We saw nothing.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was a CGI trailer that didn't even show like the art style of the game.
Nope.
Sick.
Yeah, so we don't know if it's improved graphics or anything.
It was literally looked like an AR game. Like that's why I was like, oh, it's an AR game. But then
Do we think that's because it comes out on Switch too?
Oh no,
it's 2025.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So maybe this is their way of not showing what the Switch 2 gameplay looks like.
Despawn, I'm just saying, if this is a 30 frames per second game, you're going to be excited for it, right? Because that's all you wanted.
I mean, that's the main thing that I wanted. But yeah, no, I don't. I'm done with Pokemon.
Okay. So there's other reasons, guys.
Yeah. I really wanted a Gold and Silver remake. That's what I really wanted.
They should do that. They should have done a Legends Gold and Silver.
What I wanted was them to put all the classic games into Switch Online. Like just the OG ones.
I'd love that, but for some reason they just refuse.
Mm-hmm. Even make it another tier. Just I'll pay more to play the old. If you give me all the classic old games up to like the Game Boy Color or whatever, and then link it into Nintendo or like Pokemon Home or whatever it was, so I can actually actively transfer my my games again, my Pokemon. I'd be there for that.
I think Fix kind of hit the nail on the head. If you have them all available to Nintendo Switch Online, like it's harder to sell the new ones to people.
Yeah, it is, right?
It's like you have every Pokemon game available to you, all the old ones. A lot of old heads are like, I could live for days off of this. I don't need that anymore.
Well, this is why you do it now, and then in a year's time when we get Legends, and you can use those Pokemon you've caught in Legends.
Oh.
That requires way too much technical.
You can transfer. Like there is a overall Pokemon bank that you can transfer between games.
Yeah, but at a certain point you can't transfer to certain games. No,
it doesn't make sense for Legends.
Legends makes no sense.
Yeah, well, it's pretty. I mean, it might do in this one because like all the artwork that we saw in this AR title was very much like his massive modern buildings and things like that.
Did you play Pokemon X and Y? I'm pretty sure the massive buildings make sense with the history of that game, no? Like the story.
Yeah. Wait, X and Y is already a game?
Yeah.
Told you, I don't even understand, bro.
X and Y came out before Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
As well.
I don't even know. Let's move on. I don't care anymore. Just give me what I want, all right? Last story. Sony is working to bring PlayStation VR to PC. Sony noted on their PlayStation blog that it's currently working on bringing PlayStation VR 2 headsets to Windows PC. This support would allow players to use Sony's latest headset on PC in a similar fashion to the MetaQuest 2 or the MetaQuest 3. Sony aims for this feature to come at some point in the later part of 2024. I've heard the PSVR 2 is actually pretty good. Like the headset itself is actually pretty good. Does this? I don't really understand it though, because again, I'm in the MetaQuest world, right? So how do I play? So I have to buy these games on Steam and stuff like that. Then I can use that with Steam. Is that how this is going to work?
That's what I'm confused about as well. They're going to allow the PlayStation VR 2 to be used with Steam. They must.
Yeah, it must be.
That
right?
must be the case, which is odd.
Is it?
I think so.
Or something
not anymore.
Muted, so who knows what he's saying.
Sorry, yes, I was muted while I was typing. So yeah, no, they do offer that. Like I've played my Steam games on MetaQuest.
Yeah, I know the MetaQuest
not
can
through
do it.
not for PlayStation, not on PSVR 2.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I could see them. Maybe they're talking about like we talked about earlier, like the downturn of PSVR. So now they're going to give people a reason to still own it. They're like, here's a third-party headset you can play your Steam games on, so you don't have to spend £1,500 on an index.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but that is quite a leap for PlayStation to make.
Yeah,
to
or
make
maybe
a device that can access Steam.
Or
I don't.
They'd start bringing some of their PSVR titles to PC.
I think that's what's going to happen as well.
Yeah, I don't think it's that much of a leap just because A, the VR marketplace isn't that big in general, and B, Sony is not number one in that marketplace as well.
Sure.
It must be big enough for them to have made a VR headset too, though.
Sure, but like comparatively, like it's not. There aren't that many people. There's a limited amount of people in VR, so there's a limited amount of eyes you can get on your product for people who are interested and want to actively buy things.
I agree with that. Okay. Yeah. It's bro, I've been watching a bunch of videos on the new Apple headset, which I'm not gonna buy. I've got energy price problems. But but yeah, I'm looking at that going, oh mate, I can't wait for number 2 of that. I just do not like it, Matt.
I think Mark Zuckerberg has done the best bit of marketing he's ever done by putting out that video.
That was so good.
Yeah, I did see that.
Not only is the MetaQuest 3 the better value for money, it's the better product, full stop, and went on a bit of a well-worded, very personable rant about why the MetaQuest 3 is a better product. I haven't used the Apple Vision Pro. Apple does what Apple does, right? Very, very well. I think I agree. I've used the Quest a lot. Like, I think, looking at what the Apple Vision Pro does, the Quest can do most of it.
Just to get into the nitty-gritty a little bit, sorry. What can it do? Because again, I've got a 2, right? And I know Despawn's got a 3. And I really want to upgrade, but I don't quite understand why I need to at this moment in time. Yeah.
The huge leap from 2 to 3 is pass-through, right? So in 2 is pretty ropey, right? Like it's black and white. It's the same as PSVR.
Pass-through being you can see through and see everyone in the
real world. You can see the real world, right? The MetaQuest 3 is significantly better. So if you wanted to work from your desktop right now, but instead of having your 2 screens in front of you, you've got 8 screens, and something
you can
YouTube
do that
over
on the
here.
Quest 3.
You can do that on the Quest 3, yeah. What Apple seems to be better at is like spatial context. So like I could go and leave something in the kitchen and it would remember that that's there in the kitchen, and then when I walk back into the kitchen it'll still be there, whereas I think Quest probably shuts that stuff down because of processing power and stuff. But I don't know for sure. Like I haven't used them both side by side.
I've done a test.
Yeah, like you could test it, yeah.
Right now.
All right. I think the battery died, actually. Sorry.
I think they're interesting devices. I think like Apple are always going to come in at a high price point, but even 3,500 seems
too much,
kind of obscene. Yeah.
Too much.
But they're sold out everywhere, right? So Apple does what Apple does.
But they do. I feel like they're sold out with like the influencer market right now because the quantity is probably pretty low as well, right?
Sure. I mean, when they put out pre-orders, they know what their pre-order numbers were, right?
True.
And yeah,
True.
I agree that there's probably some artificial scarcity in Apple's sort of marketing plan for this, to keep it sold out for a while, so people are talking about it, so it feels like a more sought after product.
They make it scarce, and then they release a version that's cheaper by $1,000 or whatever. And
Exactly.
that's a great price point, and then they jump on it.
And you can't overlook the fact that they've called this the Vision Pro, and Apple are very deliberate with their naming. So they will be a Vision 2 maybe that will be cheaper, or a Vision C or Vision SE maybe. They have their sort of monikers for cheaper systems and stuff like that.
The problem is I'm an Apple boy. So I see this and I do go, oh.
Sure.
Works with my messages.
But you're not a Mac boy.
I'm not a fucking idiot, no.
Exactly. So the connectivity from that point of view is
I've almost been a Mac boy a few times though. Almost.
Yeah.
Just never thought it was worth it. And I'm joking about the fucking idiot in that do not come for me. I'm sorry.
You a bitch, a fucking idiot.
I mean, you are a bitch.
Again, these sponsors just gotta remind you.
Actually, you
know what, Matt?
You gotta know.
I disagree with Paul Despawn that you're a bitch. What do you think?
Sounds like a pretty shitty segue into agree or disagree. I will throw out a inflammatory statement, and the team here will agree or disagree, and then we shall debate for your viewing pleasure. If you like it, let us know in the Discord. Also in the Discord or in the YouTube comments, please do drop your own agree or disagree takes that you want to hear us debate, because boy is scraping the bottom of the barrel at this point. No, that's not true. But I have 3 left on my list, and then I need to come up with some more. But I'd rather you come up with some more for me, because you've probably got better ideas than I have.
All right.
Valued listener. Agree or disagree? The next thing to come from the Gears of War franchise should be a TV show.
Oh.
It's very satisfying that whenever I do this, the initial response is always, ooh.
Oh, no, I like it. Okay. All right, yeah. Okay.
We're going to go around the room. Despawn's going to go first. Agree or disagree. Then we'll go Fixer. Then we'll go Crash. Then we'll go me. Agree or disagree. The next thing to come from the Gears of War franchise should be a TV show.
Disagree?
Disagree.
Disagree?
Agree. Bring it on, boys. Here we go.
Interesting.
Okay.
Should I go first then? Because I guess
Yeah.
my back's against the wall. I think, it's so easy to say this and so hard to execute on this, but you have been shown the way by The Last of Us, right? And The Last of Us didn't even need it, but you need to re-engage a new audience with this franchise. It's been so long, and I think even Gears 5 didn't penetrate in the same way that Gears 1 did and Gears 2 did with Marcus and Dom and that relationship. Like, ask me who the protagonist of Gears 5 is, I can't tell you. And I am on an Xbox podcast every week.
Gears of War 1 didn't penetrate the way it did because of its characters or story.
I agree.
It was a visual marvel at the time.
Yeah.
It was impressive. It was an impressive game, in the 360 generation.
Yeah.
That's why it got big. And after the fact, people cared about the characters.
I agree. I think it also came in a time where there weren't really any video game stories that landed in that way, like The Last of Us does, or a Gears of War, I think could potentially. And I think by bringing the scale of it down, but keeping the violence and the gore and the absurdity and the visual nature, it's a very visually unique show. You could see a screenshot from The Last of Us and not necessarily know what it is, but you see somebody in that armor, you goddamn know it's Gears of War. And what surprises the fuck out of me, I saw it literally today on a bus, is advert for on the side of a bus, an advert for the Halo Season 2. And Chief sat there without his helmet on. And I was like, guys, this is your iconic mascot character. People know him with the fucking helmet on. Like, nobody knows who the fuck this dude is under the helmet. And if you watch the show, I guess you do. But, use that visual identity. Come on. You've got unique characters. You've got a unique world. You've got something that is visually identifiable that you can put the Xbox brand in front of.
No, I agree with everything you said, but your wording was very specific, which is the next thing that needs to come out of Gears of War, and the next thing that needs to come out of Gears of War is number 6, is Gear 6, right? Like that story. It's been a while since we've been in the Gears world now for a while, and that story needs to. I don't know what they're planning. If there's going to be one more after this, if it's a trilogy of Kate, but
I think they've said trilogy. So
I thought they did as well. But
so it'd be Gears 5, 6, and 7 would be her trilogy.
No, 4,
5, and 6.
Oh, she's in 4. Okay, I didn't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, but I think that alone proves where you're at with the Gears franchise, Matt. If I'm honest, like,
agreed.
Because 4 and 5. That is her story. Her and JD. JD. Thank you very much. Her and JD are the Dom and Marcus of this moving forward, right? And then obviously 5 is I don't even know how they're gonna do the next game. Again, if you've not played it till the end, I don't want to. Can we spoil it at this point? We can spoil it at this point.
I mean,
right?
Matt spoils everything. We might as well have a go. Yeah.
Matt, you want to spoil it?
Obviously, the end. Yeah, well, no, it's fine. Like, you should know. If you've not, look, we've spoken about it now. There's where coming up. You got it. With the ending being obviously that not Dom, JD or Dell. Thank you. Dell dies at the end, and you have a decision, which I think, by the way, is the wrong thing to do in a Gears game. Like, I want a handcrafted story that you tell me. I don't like that. Yeah, at the end of that game, that actually got spoiled for me. I was so fucking angry. But yeah, so in my story, JD's dead. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't make sense to me, because how are they going to design that game going forward?
They have to do that weird thing where they go, "This is the canon ending."
That's what I thought they were going to do. That's what that's what I'm assuming they're going to do as well. But
well, what was it? I think it was for Infamous, I think with Sucker Punch Infamous, they went with the most played ending. For either Infamous 1 or Infamous 2, the most played ending, and they use that as the canon ending. So I think they could do that. Like, which choice did people pick the most? That is the official ending.
See, that makes sense to me, because they do a similar thing with Carmine, didn't they? The original trilogy was like, you got to vote on whether they died or not. In, I think it was 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah,
like
they did an online. They did an online vote. Like, does Carmine live?
About that. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then it turned out to be just like a really hench badass in the one he survives in. Like, fair.
But to get back to the main point here, no, it needs to be a game. Like, we have waited too long, and we deserve a game. We do know that there's a Netflix Gear show coming.
There's also animated something as well.
Yeah, but I'm scared for both of those. The anime I've got more hope for, but a TV show of Gears, I think is going to be. Again, you got to remember, there's only a few franchises in my life that are like near and dear in my heart, which is Resident Evil and Gears of War. Those are like my 2 big franchises that I care quite a lot about, and I've already seen Resident Evil be absolutely destroyed over and over and over. Which sucks. It sucks a lot.
Yeah, I totally get that. I think like I kind of said, right? You've seen the way with The Last of Us, like being able to kind of pull the action out of that show, I think actually helped that story. And I do feel like there's something there with Gears as well. Like, it can still be brutal and violent, but the core of the story is a team, you know, like either a crew of 4 or a crew of 2. And I think you can do that really well in a TV show if you cast it well and those people have chemistry and yeah. But it feels to me, I would love to experience that world through a TV show and get back into it through a TV show.
I think the best thing about Last of Us is actually the story, and it's not the action. Whereas with Gears of War, I'd argue, especially with Gears 1 and 2, and even 3, that it's actually kind of like vice versa. it is an action first with a good story to prop up that action, but it is that action that propels it forward. Yeah. And I'm not saying you can't salvage a good story there, but people aren't looking at Gears of War. You have to remember, people were excited about Last of Us from the moment that TV show was announced. That there was a lot of excited people. I don't think since the Gears of War TV show has been announced, there's been that level of excitement for it.
Yeah. We already know if Batista's not in it as Dom, then
as Marcus.
As Marcus, they're gonna just go against this straight away.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
it scares me.
Hasn't he already said he's aged out of that role? Unless it was like Old Man Marcus.
Old Man Marcus.
They could do Gears 4.
They could definitely do an Old
Man
Marcus.
I would hate that as well.
But I can imagine them coming out being like, it's Batista, and we're gonna de-age him digitally.
I don't think he has de-aged out of the Marcus role though. No. Marcus does look old.
I mean, Marcus is in.
I think it's de-aged for himself because he doesn't want to. Like he's talked about like having to keep up his size is kind of.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's the hard part. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
But like, Batista is Batista. Like Batista's never going to be a small dude, is he?
No.
Like, and the gears of all the armor on and stuff. I think like you could see a smaller Batista in that role and not. And he'd still be bigger than the rest of the cast, whoever you cast as Baird or whatever.
Yeah. So just to add my 2 cents into this whole argument, discussion, I agree with both sides, but I think I kind of lean into what Fixer said. Like, I would love a really good like Gears TV show, and I think done right, it's going to be amazing. Done wrong, it's going to be something that we don't watch on Netflix. But the next thing, and that's the big thing for me, is the next thing we need the Gears franchise back. We need it on Xbox. We need to be able to play it. We need to fall in love with it again so that when they do start showing us stuff from a Gears TV show, we can get excited about it. We can be like, I'm going to go back and replay the series because I remember that bit and I want to enjoy that bit again. And we got the Ultimate Edition, we can do that. Maybe the next thing doesn't need to be Gears 6, but it needs to be the Gears collection. Maybe that's what it needs to be. But the next thing needs to be a video game.
Gears Tactics 3.
We didn't get 2.
Skip 2.
Yeah,
skip 2.
Skip it.
2 was a bad game. Skip it.
Yeah, 2's a bad game, yeah. No, we're getting Judgment 2.
Go Simulator. No, I don't. Yeah. I know. I'm sticking by my guns. I think it does need to be a TV show. It should be a TV show, because I think it needs to re-engage a new audience in that franchise. Because I think you've only seen drop off in interest. I don't know how you get people back in with the final part of Kate's story.
Well, it's not the final part.
Okay.
No, I get him.
I thought it was trilogy.
No, yeah, you're right. It would be the final part technically. Yeah, you're right.
It's just like saying 3 is the final part of Marcus'
6.
story, which isn't true, right?
Kind of is though. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, no, you're right. You are right. I apologize. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Yeah. You're not a bitch.
I thought you said that earlier. Were you saying you lied earlier with that?
Yeah.
You thought he was a bitch?
I lied.
Wow.
Okay. Well.
I just want to clarify. I have not called Matt P a bitch, so I want to
give it a go. It's fun.
No, I'm gonna save it. Save it
for
when I really feel it.
Yeah, and it's really got to come out of nowhere, like Fixer's first called me a bitch did in the last episode of the podcast. Because like I couldn't even. There was no juking or driving that. It came out of literally nowhere. I thought we were all getting along just fine.
Yeah.
Let us know if you agree or disagree with Matt P. If you do, you are wrong in the comments below, I guess.
In the comments. And remember, I need your agree or disagree statements, and I'll give you a shout out, obviously. Drop in the Discord.
Let's do one ranking everything before we get out of here. Again, provided by Big Willie P. This is where you guys will blind rank video games that have been given to me of selection, 1 through 5, 1 being the best, 5 being the worst. Last week you did pretty good.
We nailed it.
Here we go. First one, Half-Life.
I'll go out there. I think it's a 3.
Yeah.
I think it's like, I understand that it's really beloved, but there's also a bit of a joke of the industry at this point that the Valve can't pull their thumb out their ass and make a game. So
is this individual game or franchise?
It's franchise, right? They've always been franchise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've always franchise. I mean, this is the closest. This thing I'm gonna say, this is the closest Half-Life's ever gonna get to 3. So let's do it.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Wah, 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 wah.
So we saying 3?
Yeah, I'll say 3 on that one.
Cool. Next up is Limbo.
5.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, because Limbo. I agree that Limbo's a 5. I think, like, oh man, I don't know, 4. There's a play for 4.
I'm not moving from 5.
I think if you included Inside, like if they were somehow the same franchise, then we'd be talking different things. I know we're not. I know, but I still think Limbo's like really good.
Yeah,
fantastic game.
It's a great game, but it's I mean, I can't, in good conscience, put this like at anything near Half-Life. So I'm gonna go with 5.
It's a 5.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna seriously
probably gonna buy us in the ass.
Half-Life number. So you got Limbo at number 5, Half-Life at number 3.
Yeah.
Next up, you have Mass Effect.
2.
2.
Whoa, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Better than Half-Life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Okay. I'm okay with it.
Ignore the terrible ending of 3. Everything leading up to that one point was phenomenal.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Reintroduced sci-fi to a whole new generation of people in a very significant way. So much so that the way Andromeda dropped, it just wasn't as in depth or as good as the other 3. I think, and then even if you're looking at Andromeda's not as bad as the perception was. It was just the previous 3 were so good that it kind of knocked that down a bit.
Yeah, it had technical issues, but like when they were patched out and stuff, it's still a solid game.
Yeah.
It's kind of, and look, this is on me, but it's mind blowing to me that I'm not into Mass Effect because like Star Wars, Star Trek, like that's my fucking jam.
Yeah.
How have I bounced off?
Have you played?
Twice?
Oh, you've played. Okay.
I played all of 1, and I've played the first few hours of 2 twice.
Mate, the remastered trilogy is out there.
Just skip one.
Yeah. So where we going, boys?
I would definitely skip 1. 2. It's going in at 2.
2. All right. Next up, I have a little game called Batman Arkham. Very important for me to mention. Doesn't include the best Batman game to exist.
It helps this out. It helps it so much. It doesn't include Origin. It helps it so much.
So there's Rocksteady Arkham series. Yeah, it's a 1.
1.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the best action games out there, and it's arguably one of the best IPs, like tie-in games ever.
It's one of my like fondest core gaming memories is playing the combat challenges in university with my mate Matt Wayne.
Shout out Matt Wayne.
Shout out Matt Wayne.
Yeah.
Just for Wayne, but biggest Batman fan I know.
Yeah.
He's changed his last name.
Yeah. His parents aren't called Wayne. But I know.
All right, so we got Batman at 1. We have Mass Effect at number 2. Half-Life at number 3. The only way it's ever going to see it. Limbo at number 4.
Limbo at
number 5. Sorry, and Mass Effect. Nope. Mirror's Edge. Nope. Mirror's Edge is at number 4.
You know what, lads? We are on a roll. 2 weeks running.
So good.
We have fucking nailed it.
People are not going to be happy with this one. Having Half-Life at number 3,
You know what?
I think people are going to be mad.
Nobody came after us for saying Sonic was a 5 and never done anything good with his life. So I
think
think
you said Sonic is a 5 and has never done anything
Did you
good.
put that out as a clip? We should put that out as a clip and see how people feel about that statement.
Yeah, you go back and clip that and see what people say.
That feels like a lot of work.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm not doing
a lot of work to get.
Takes a lot of work. Who would have thought it? Who would have thought it? Boys, that is it for this week's MXAM Extra episode 8. Where can people find you? What's going on, people? Have we got anything to promote? One thing we do have to promote, which I'll talk about, 12-hour stream coming up. It is happening on the 9th of March. You will catch all of us playing video games, hanging out with the community, and doing some crazy, wacky challenges over on twitch.tv/mcfit, twitch.tv/myxboxandme, and youtube.com/myxboxandme as well. I'm used to saying my own name. I do apologize. Anything to plug that's important to anybody? Anyone got anything important to plug?
Let let's go with the Patreon, because that's where you're going to need to be when we are doing our 12-hour stream. Come show some support over there.
Hopefully. We'll see.
Hopefully. And,
we're still figuring stuff out.
Drop some suggestions for what you want to see us do on the 12-hour stream in the Discord, please, and in the YouTube comments of this video, and we'll check them out.
Yes.
Absolutely. Until next time, love ya, leave ya, see you later. Good boys.